Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Dinner and a Show on the Road. I am Brian, and I just got out of seeing Cars 3. It was going to be Baby Driver, but all the seats were pretty much filled up, all the good ones. So, I watched another car movie, Cars 3. This is probably the first Pixar sequel I've seen in a theater since Inside Out, which was 2 years ago. That's kind of crazy. So, didn't watch The Good Dinosaur. And I don't remember the other one that came out in 2016. That's kind of bad. No, never mind. Sorry. You know what? Totally wrong. I watched Finding Dory last year in theaters. So, yeah. They're on a sequel track, apparently. I can't wait for their new movie, Coco, to come out. But anyway, sorry. Cars. Cars the franchise has always been sort of the black sheep for Pixar, you know? It's like, up until Cars came out in 2006, everything was like in the 90 percentile on Rotten Tomatoes, and then in comes the first Cars movie, and it's like 76, 75. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, a lot of movies would kill to have that kind of rating, but for Pixar, that was kind of a critical blow. Critical meaning film critic, not like hugely, important or everything. Anyway, first Cars I actually really liked. It was cool, and I liked the message of, just stopping to see just what's out there, just going so fast that you're just forgetting the life that is ahead of you, with the life that you're living right now. And so that was really cool, and the ending, was kind of heartfelt. Second one just sucked. I'm just gonna plain up say it. Mater, played by Larry the Cable Guy, in the second one was just a mess. I could not stand that guy, and oh my gosh, and it just wasn't. They didn't have any spirit of the first movie in it. They just turned it into a Bond villain, kind of, or a Bond movie. And sure, Bond movies are fun, but not in a Cars movie. No, it's stupid. Oh my gosh, I was, not happy about that movie. It was one of the few times I walked out of the theater angry. So now Cars 3 comes out. The trailers made it look like really cool, like something really bad happened to Lightning McQueen. It seemed like it was back on track, getting, Lightning as the main character again, played by Orson Welles, or not Orson Welles, oh my gosh. You know what? I can't believe I forgot his name. Oh well. Starts with an O. You guys are going to roast me in the comments. But anyway, Lightning McQueen, he's there. He's back on track as the main character in this one, which is great. The problem is he's old. He's an old racer now. He isn't as fast as he used to be. And a lot of these new rookies, they're just built faster, built stronger. And the new one is Jackson Storm. He's played by Armie Hammer. He's the big shot. He's the best, and he keeps rubbing it in Lightning's face that he's old and needs to retire. And Lightning's like, I'm not done yet. I still have some fight left in me. Let me prove it. And so he gets to a new training center with Sterling, his new CEO, his new boss, sponsor, and he has a new racer a new trainer named Cruz Ramirez to help him along the way. But the stuff that he's learning over there just isn't what he's used to. He's not learning the same way, and he's got to try something different. And so just throughout the movie, we're just seeing, what Lightning's got to do to just become the best again, to just win that one more race. And yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the movie. I mean, a lot of people have compared it to Rocky 3, I believe. I only watched the first movie and the sixth movie, which is called Rocky Balboa. So, yeah, sorry. But yeah, this movie, I mean, it's definitely not Pixar's best. The Cars franchise was never Pixar's best. It's pretty much to sell toys, and John Lasseter freaking loves cars. like actual cars. He says, you know, he'll bleed ink from animation and oil from cars. I mean, those are like some of his favorite things in the world. So we're probably going to see another Cars movie, unfortunately. But for what we got, you know, it wasn't that bad, because we do see Lightning struggle. Like the first half of the movie, I mean, we do see his desperation to win again. He doesn't want to be left out. He doesn't want to be out for the count. He wants to still race. He loves the sport, but he's just not fast enough. A lot of the new rookies, they're just faster. They're built faster. So yeah, it's just that coming over his face. We see that he's trying his hardest and he's just not doing it. Even training his own way, going to the beach, that's not doing it. So anyway, that was pretty interesting to see. And I also like how they utilized Doc Hudson. He was voiced by Paul Newman in the first one, and unfortunately he passed shortly after the movie was released. So the second one, they did a crappy little way to honor him, honestly. I mean, it was just kind of a quick little tidbit. But here they actually paid a lot of attention to Doc Hudson, and like how he was a huge mentor to Lightning McQueen, and how big of an impact he had on the racing culture in this movie. And just gotta let you know, you gotta suspend any belief in the movie, especially like in the architecture of the world of Cars. It's like a lot of the stuff, it looks like that people built it, because I mean, we would use this all the time. But you know, it's just weird that Cars are using it, and you're just like, what the heck? How did this get made? You know, just reproduction and stuff of Cars. It's just like, I mean, if you're nitpicky like me sometimes, you ask those questions, and you're not going to get an answer. It's not important to them. But, oh, sorry, gotta be a little more careful. There's some construction on the road here. So we see that the world still looks great. Animation is fantastic, especially, you know, seeing the little tire marbles on the racetrack, and just the detail of the concrete and the dirt. And there were some fun little sequences. One of them was like I think it was Thunder Road, where it's like a monster truck rally kind of area, and that was a lot of fun to see. They paid a lot of homage to the early days of NASCAR, how they were moonshiners, and just the type of tracks they used, the sort of strategies that those racers used, how they draft. So, I mean, a lot of that was used, and it was really cool to see. I used to really love NASCAR as a kid. I had my own fantasy league with my dad, my brother, and a few other of my dad's friends. It was really funny. Yeah, of course, yeah, the sound design was great. I mean, if you love hearing cars, then you're gonna love, you know, at least the sound of the movie. And the characters, I'll say, were, for the most part, cool. Sterling was fine until the end. He's the new sponsor for Lightning. He was all right. Because he was really on Lightning's side and stuff. But, you know, as always, he's a businessman, and he doesn't see Lightning having much of a career anymore. You have your old people back, like Sally, she's back. More of a supporting role, just of encouragement to Lightning, but, you know, it's great to have her back, you know, because the second one, you know, she's just gone. Now, the opposite was, Maynard was hardly around. I mean, he was there often enough, you know, but his role in the movie was severely limited, which was great. I was very thankful for that, because, man, Maynard got annoying in the second one. I hated that guy. He's the one character from Pixar that I just can't stand. Everyone else is fine. And, what else was there? you had a lot of callbacks. You had Chick Hicks back. I mean, wow, didn't expect him back. He retired as an announcer, apparently, so it was funny to see him still poke fun at Lightning McQueen. Still doesn't like him, still can't stand him. And Lightning McQueen, okay, I'll just get this off my chest. Lightning McQueen, he was fine up until he started training. It seemed like he forgot everything he learned from their first movie. Being a humble guy, being a nice guy, respecting the people around him. And for some reason, during training, he was just, got too proud again. Was like, oh, I don't need this, I'm fine, I want to go on the simulator. It was just, he became a jerk again, especially to Cruz, who was trying to help him. And, man, that was just frustrating to see. I was like, come on, you know better, writers, than to go back to that type of drawing, or back to the drawing board on Lightning McQueen's development. So it was just, it just felt like they went backwards on him for a little bit, but then he got back onto a different, his character grew, but he had to go backwards. He went backwards before he could go forward, and that just frustrated me. And then Cruz Ramirez was actually really cool. It's kind of funny, all of the female cars sound the same. Don't know if they have the same voice actors or not. It just kind of, I don't know if that was just a coincidence or what, but almost all of the main female characters sounded the same. It was kind of weird. But Cruz Ramirez was actually pretty cool. She had more of a role than I was expecting. I knew that she was going to be helping Lightning around. It's not a romantic relationship, thank God. Lightning's already got Sally. It's like, no, we didn't need any drama like that, thank God. Car love drama, just weird. She was great, she was encouraging, she was tough. She was pretty blunt and honest. But that was refreshing. And but yeah, she did deal with insecurity. She dealt with just what other cars thought of her, because she wants to be a racer, but she's a trainer, and it's because she thought that she wasn't good enough. Because that's what people told her, or that's what cars told her. Sorry, there are no people in this movie, or were there? That's another question. Were there people in the Cars universe? And then they just, I don't know, it's a too dark of a concept to get. Anyway, I'm trying to think of anything else that happened. The music was fine. It's Randy Newman. Score, I don't think it was a big deal for him, or wasn't a big project of his. It sounds like Toy Story, or a watered down version of like the Toy Story soundtracks. And the Toy Story soundtracks were great, love them. But Randy Newman has a distinct style of orchestral soundtracks for Pixar movies, and this kind of showed. Now I'll go to the final act, I guess, the climax of the scene, like right before it. There's a car or a truck named Smokey. Now, Smokey trained Doc Hudson, and they're trying to find him. They find him, and he's told by Lightning. Lightning tells Smokey that he doesn't want to be like Doc Hudson, where the track forgot him, or the race forgot him. He was finished. A rookie replaced him, and that was it. And Lightning doesn't want that to happen to him. He doesn't want to be replaced like that. And because he thought that Doc was never the same after that. And Smokey's like, oh, is that what you think? And spoiler alert. Sorry, I probably should have said that first. But I think what really turned me around to actually enjoy this movie more than I was expecting was the fact that Doc changed his life around, or changed his passion. That's what it is. He changed his passion from loving racing to loving to teach people racing. And of course, he taught Lightning pretty much everything he knew. And kind of a heartfelt moment was when Lightning gets to see the garage of all the clippings that Doc sent to Smokey, of just all of the stuff that Lightning accomplished. And Doc was like, man, that kid did it. And that's where he found his joy again, not in winning races, but seeing his student win races. And that's just really cool, because you got to think you're not going to do the same thing you've been doing for the rest of your life. You're going to have to retire, and depending on what you like, as if you want to be a leader, one of the great things you can do, and what can stand out from a lot of leaders, is if you teach and prepare your students or people under you to take over for you when you retire, so that you can leave a legacy. And that's what Lightning figured out, and that's what he taught Cruz Ramirez to do. And that was just really cool to see him do. Yeah, and I know people think, are saying that, oh man, this is a great, feminist movie, women equality, or just, women as a central character. And I'm like, I mean, sure, yeah, Cruz gets to race again. But come on, Wonder Woman's got her beat. Cruz Ramirez is no Wonder Woman or Diana Prince. That movie addresses those issues, and I think much more of an example than Cruz was. But hey, if your little kids, your daughters go and see Cars 3, yeah, I'm sure they can get some, they can be inspired by Cruz Ramirez, that she gets to be a racer along with all the other guys. So I can see that, but I just didn't really see how this was like a big feminist movie. It was, just another movie where a female character, got to take the spotlight because Lightning gave it to her, and it was really cool just to see that. Okay, so end of my spoilers. So what do I give this movie? I'll give it a high wave. So I mean, it wasn't definitely not a bad movie, and it's something that your kids can be entertained by. People were saying that the first half was slow and the second half was fast. Yeah, that's totally true. Lightning was a bit of a jerk once he started training, and he had to come back to his senses again, and so that part, was just kind of dumb and frustrating to watch. But other than that, there were more enjoyable parts than just frustrating parts, and so I will give this a pass for Pixar. It's like, all right, you kind of went back to what made the first Cars, enjoyable, at least for me. And you thankfully pretended that Cars 2 never happened, because that was just really dumb. Oh my gosh. Cars 2. Oh my gosh. If I ever write a blog about that movie, if I watch it again, I'm gonna rip that movie to shreds. Anyway, sorry. And I think that's all I got. I'm Brian, and until next time, I will see you at the movies.